Okay, here we go. Part 3. The concilium of Themistocles, I'm guessing, was displeasing to many of the city-states, and they were more pleased, or it was more pleasing for them to fight on land. So I think they said go to Salamis after the Delphic oracle. And so a delecti, a chosen lot, when Misai sauntered, they were sent with Leonidas, the reg of the Lacedaemonians, the Spartans, who would occupy Thermopylae and would not allow the barbarians to proceed any further. Longius qui. High means these, the force of the enemy, they could not sustain. So these people could not sustain the force of the enemy. And in this loco, all of them interiored. The interior decorated the place with their blood. They all died there. There's a movie 300 you could probably watch. But the communal fleet of the Greeks, of 300 ships, in which 200 of them were Athenian ships, first at Artemisium, which is between Euboea and the continental land, the mainland, they had conflict there with the marines, Classiaris, of the king. Themistocles querebated for some narrows, lest he be surrounded, circumventured by a multitude of the bad guys' ships. Although they discasseranted, they left from Hic Prolio, this battle on equal footing, pari. Nevertheless, in the same place that you had them loco, they didn't dare remain because it was dangerous. And here's the reason: lest if part of the ships of the adversary had overcome or gone round Euboea, they would be pressed by a twofold periculo, by a twofold danger on both sides. Quo factum est ut. Most sentences start with something that links them. So with this done, that they had left from what's this place in its full form? No, that's not it. There it is. Artemisium. So when they had left from there and across from Athens, they had constituted their fleet. They'd settled their fleet there at Salamis, upward Salamina, across from Athens. 4. At Xerxes. But Xerxes, immediately, with Thermopylae having been stormed, he came by Astu, which usually means cunning, so I think he paid a shepherd or something. And so he's gone somewhere. Looks like since there's no defenders there, must be Athens. Having killed the Sacerdotabuses, having killed the priests who were found in the citadel in the ark, he deleted the city with an incendium by fire. 2. The flames of which fire terrified the Classaris. These are the marines, the sailors who fight on ships. And when they didn't dare remain, and most of them, a lot of them, were encouraging with a command, indirect command, that they should leave their homes and defend, say, themselves inside the monobuses in the walls. This happened, but Themistocles was the one who resisted this argument. He was saying that universally they would be pares, they would be equal to the Persians. And he testified that if they dispersed or separated, perichuros, they would die. And dative to this guy, who is a Eurybiadius or someone, the king of the Spartans again, the Lacedaemonians. They had 2 kings, one of them died up here. So this other guy, he was praerat, he was in charge of then at that time. He had the utmost power. He was the head guy in charge of all the armies of the Greeks. He affirmed it to this guy. Okay, so he said that he was testifying truthfully that they'd all die if they separated. 3. Which, when less than he wanted, it moved him by night from one of his slaves, whom was considered very loyal. He sent this slave to the king. Is this the king of Sparta or the king of the Persians? With the purpose, that he should announce to him with these words, suis verbis, his words, the words of Themistocles, suis is reflexive, that his adversaries were in flight, who, if they left with much labour and a long time, it would take to complete the war. And he would be forced to consectare each of these groups singularly. So I guess if they disperse, you have to attack a lot of cities and states separately. Okay, so consector is the daily dictionary word. Seek, pursue, make for eagerly. So a couple of other things followed example of or research into, but you would have to seek all the cities individually in the different Greek groups. Okay, where was I? Which if immediately he would attack, brevi, in a short period of time he would oppress all of them. He would take all the Greeks. With this thing he prevailed, with this action or something, looks like Themistocles prevailed, so that he forced all of them to fight the Pugnatum ingratus, ungratefully, against their will, not willing, but they were forced to. Hac re audita barbarus. So it was the Persian king up here. With this this res having been heard, this petition or information heard, he was believing that there was nothing of a trick going on, nothing of a partitive genitive of deception he thought was happening, sabesaying. So posteriorly the next day, in a place very alien for himself, but contrarily very fitting for the Greeks who were his enemies, in a very narrow part of the sea, he had conflict, adio, to such an extent correlatives, that his multitude, Eos is his, multitude of his ships, they were not able to explicare, they were not able to spread out. The downloads are back on YouTube, so I've probably updated a few of them. Anyway, ergo, therefore then he was devictus. He was beaten more even by the plan of Themistocles than by the armies of Greece.